You
Good
still mute.
morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning,
Good
Lisa.
morning. Good morning to you.
This
It's a beautiful, wonderful
it
day
is a
here.
beautiful day. We had an appraisal already this morning. We're busy. We're doing business, and but speaking of business, we're in the business of keeping in touch with people, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's really what we do, right? You just got to keep touches, keep touch, and we have so much. Like we have some really great technology. Listen, the best technology is still a phone call. Hey, how's it going? How you been? No, or a personal note. Okay, but let's not throw the technology. Let's not forget about it. So you and I were talking about apps to help us keep up with our clients and what they're doing in their search and how we're servicing them and making sure we don't miss the thing that they need. So tell me about what do you do? Tell me about it.
Well, I think that, when we talk about staying in touch with our customers, like our customers, our center of influence, our sphere, they are all at different places at different times, like in their home buying cycle, home living cycle, what have you. And so like I think about when you have someone actively looking, right? They actively want to buy a house. They're actively watching the market because they're thinking about selling. Their
Sure.
needs are different, what they want
Yeah.
to use is different, right?
Yeah.
But what I like, so and I know we're going to talk a little bit about your tool better for that time period. But what I like when I have friends who are just real estate curious, right? They
Oh,
want to
okay.
know,
That's
there's that
interesting.
house down the street. There's that, I noticed a sign go up. I wonder what it is. And they just
Yeah.
they're curious about what houses are selling for. So I think our Howard Hanna app is great for that because, well, first of all, number one, I like anything that's branded for the agent, right? Like anything that's going to come from our Howard Hanna agent to their
Right.
center of influence. Like I want their name, their photo, their contact information. I also
Uh-huh.
want to get people off the bad sites, right? Like we all know where people go to look for information and they're not always getting accurate information, right?
I don't know. You sound a
So
little judgy when you say that. Are we sound a
I'm
little
just
judgy?
relaying some facts.
Okay. I listen, I like the
So
bad sites because every bad site gives me a chance to look. It gives me a chance to be awesome, right?
true,
Like, look
true,
at
true.
them. They can't even figure this out. That's why you need to hire me.
Yes. But so that being said, if you're using a Howard Hanna branded app from an agent, you can use like the best feature on it, I think, is the feature that's called home scan, right? And home
Okay.
scan, it doesn't mean I'm going to scan and measure my house. That's what I thought it was at first, right? Like I need to buy
Yeah.
paint. How many square feet of wall covering do I have? No,
Yeah.
home scan is like what's in the area that's for sale, right? What's
Yeah.
in the area that just sold. So when you use the Howard Hanna app and you literally take your phone and you scan around, you do a little 360, little windows pop up that say 123 Main Street is, half a mile away and it's actively for sale. 42 Maple Street is 3/4 of a mile away and it's closed. And
Yeah.
you tap on each of those little squares and you get the information. And
Okay.
even when it closes, we provide the sold price as well. So you don't have to wait for the public records to come out 2 months
Yeah.
later. It's going to use the accurate data that agents put into the MLS and the sold price will come up. So it is,
Okay.
in my opinion, a great tool for that type. I know when I'm out walking my dog and if a new sign pops up in my neighborhood, I have choices. As realtors, we have all different places to go to get the information. When I'm walking the dog and I'm holding the leash and my phone in the other hand, and I do a quick scan tap with my finger, I've got
Yeah.
as much information as I need in that moment. Now, if I have someone that I think that house is a good fit for, truly as an agent, I'm going to be
Sure.
going to the ML, get the information, and share it that way. But that Howard Hanna app is a great tool for that. And it's a great tool for the people who, again, they're just curious about what's happening. They want to see what's going on in the neighborhood. They're not actively in the market. I would use a different and recommend a different tool for your clients who are actively in the market. So how's that,
Okay.
Chuck? Did
All
I
right.
convince you that there's a great time for the Howard
Listen,
Hanna app?
I feel like you already know what I'm going to say, and you were preparing yourself for uh, a future conversation. Like you really weren't trying to say this is the bet. You're like, yeah, I kind of already feel like Chuck, what you're going to say is maybe better for this, so I'm going to defend that mine's better for that.
And you know what?
Maybe.
And that's true, right? There's like 12 apps that we could say, hey,
Yeah,
how do you want to look for a house? Here's an app. You know, there's lots of apps out there. So which is the
yeah,
right one for the right job?
sure. Well, okay, so we have with our Handy dashboard, we have a set of tools through MoxieWorks that provides a lot of integrations so that you get leverage in your business. You take one action, but you get repeated reactions throughout your client management system, so you don't have to duplicate your efforts. Okay, and so I dug into RealScout and MoxieWorks way back when we started it, and when the RealScout app came out, I downloaded it, and I said, oh, I kind of like it, and kind of like. And so I put it on my phone, and then I started telling the buyers, like you said, who I'm out on active search with, because in the
Yes.
moment I'm saying, okay, this is what I want you to do, or active search, and usually it's part of that introductory buyer meeting. Maybe this is a reason, again, the buyer's saying, well, why do I have to meet you at the office? Can't we just meet at the house? You're just gonna let me in, right? I go, no, I got a whole system. There's a whole process. If you want your best result in the least amount of time with again, if you want the very best result, we have to put in a little work up front and we'll benefit from it later. And one of the things I introduced in that meeting is the RealScout Buyer app. Okay. So I have my agent app and I add that person into my dashboard as a client. And then I send them the link. Like, did you get a link this morning with an invite to the Pretty
I
sweet.
sure did.
Pretty nice.
Yes.
And they get the link, and then they go ahead and accept the app. They download it, and when they do it, when they do, oh, whoa, whoopsie, let me get rid of that. That wasn't supposed to look like that. Let me go back over here. So oh, I see what I did. So when they've got the app up, there's basically 4 different logos at the bottom, 4 different icons at the bottom. And one of them, so what I love about RealScout, when we go to RealScout on our dashboard, is it's a whole different perspective on real estate. Okay. And you might say, Chuck, what do you mean?
Tell me more.
Tell me more.
What do you mean?
Well, when we go to Matrix, or when you're on BNR and you log in and you go to the market, you're looking at what? You're looking at
All the
listings.
information.
You're looking at
Listings.
listings.
Yes.
Okay. You're looking at houses, right?
Yes.
We don't work with houses. We work with people. And I love the RealScout app. The opening page is not houses. It's our
No.
clients. It's telling me what houses they're opening this email with, this listing. They're doing that. Maybe the first time, maybe the second time. But my point is it's a mindset shift from inventory, like house focus, to client focus. What are the behaviors that my client is doing? Because that's going to help me have a better conversation with my client. Right. So
Totally.
I love that. And then guess what? My app does the exact same thing. When I open up the app, the first screen is just, this client did this client did that, blah, blah, blah. It's just blah, 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 blah. I can go as an agent. Of course, I go on my local board. I look at all my inventory. I keep track on all that stuff. But looking at that really didn't tell me what my clients were doing. Right. And RealScout does that. And I love that about it. Let me see if I can share this screen here. A different screen. This one. Let's see here. Let me, there we go. Maybe I can change the view here. So, oh, dang it. Okay, let's stick with this. Cool. So these are your screens. These are what your options are, what you can look at. And over here, this is your opening screen. And actually over here, this is your opening screen, the second one in. And it tells you again, what the property is, what the client, who the client is, and what email they opened. What are they doing?
Yes.
I love it. You know, did they?
Yeah.
It'll say not interest. Like if especially, and I tell my clients, I go, tell me here through this interface whether or not you like something or not. Thumbs
Yes.
up, down, easy peasy, right? If you don't like it, say thumbs down. If you do like it,
Right.
say thumbs up. That helps me find, maybe, key into the properties that come on the market, or maybe it helps me find that off market property, because you're
Right.
telling me, that on a property by property basis, what you like and what you're looking for. So then the other side of it, there's another tab where you can easily send someone, an invite, like to check out their home value. What's your home worth? That's just super easy to do within the app. I think, did I ask you? No, did I send that to you?
You did. You did.
I
And you
did.
know what
Okay.
I loved about the invitation, Chuck? And I honestly, I thought you spent a lot of time, effort, and energy to create that personal text that you sent me. And I'm
Oh,
heartbroken to hear that all you did was press a few buttons.
mm,
But what I loved about it was the text came and it was like, hey, here's, and chances are at your buyer consultation, you would have told the person about it. So they'd be expecting this thing where it's going to say, here's
yeah,
that program I was telling you about. But you gave me choices. On Android, click here. On iPhone, click here. Like, you didn't have to say to me, what kind of phone do you have? I'll send you the right link. Like, the link you sent me had all the options.
covered it,
And
covered the
then,
bases,
yeah,
right?
and again, I'm finding out now that that was very easy for you to do.
Hmm.
And then you sent me a link that said, what's your home worth? Start here. Like,
Yeah,
that's perfect.
it's
Especially now,
perfect.
you might say, well, I'm a buyer. Why do I care? But you know what? If I'm using equity from my house to buy the
Hmm.
next house,
Oh, you
what
care,
I care very much what my home's worth,
right?
right?
Right. And so, and then so, like, if you use a platform like Open to Close to sign people into your open house, you're gonna see, it's integrated with Real Scout.
Yeah,
So they're gonna populate. You're gonna see them in your feed. I do see people that come to my open houses, that I talk to them a little bit at the open house, send them the, hey, thanks for coming, and then we might not have communicated after that. It doesn't work
right,
that, like some people just, maybe they have an agent that they're interacting with, and maybe a couple months go by, and you see that they're still opening the emails, and you just send them a message like, hey, are you still working with that agent that you told me you were working with when you came to my open house? It's a perfectly legitimate question to ask them. Are they still working with that agent? Right?
right.
Ask it. And if they might say yes. I say, oh, okay, well, because I just noticed you've been opening all my emails from blah 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 blah. All right, you know, okay, can you get that from your agent, or like, am I providing a critical service for you? I don't know.
Yes. Yeah,
You want to be careful, right? Certainly,
obviously.
but at some point you're gonna turn over some stones, that you're gonna find some treasures underneath, right? By reaching out to these people and asking the questions. And this platform gives you just a really multifaceted and integrated platform to
Right.
accomplish all this stuff with frankly very little effort. I mean, Lisa, I worked maybe a total of 30 seconds on that amazing things I sent you this morning. And listen, I don't want you to use that to measure the value of our friendship. It's You're much more valuable than that to me.
Well, and I think, but it came across so professionally. And again, probably, for people who've never used this tool, it's like, okay, now I have to figure out how to learn it. I have to go
Yeah.
and do these, 4 steps. But once you get in that habit of doing it, I love it. One question we hear is when we get our new listings, right? And we've got that boost ad that goes out, right? And I was just pulling one up for an agent here in the office. They had 8 email addresses from people who had clicked on something on the boost
Hmm.
ad. And it's like,
Yes.
okay, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to
Yes.
communicate? These tools like this are the perfect answer, because it's like, I don't know what they want. I don't know how serious they are, but I'm going
Right.
to send this. And if they, it's the difference between I'm going to look for information, or Chuck, Lisa, my agent, someone I just happened to see a listing of, they sent me a way I could get that delivered to me without going out and looking. I'm getting it back easily.
Mhm.
And that's, we talk all the time, like, how do you provide service? How are you showing your value to someone? And this is a great way to do that. And we everybody wants to control their destiny, right? Everybody wants to control, I'm looking at making flight reservations. I want to go, am I going to go to Travelocity and let them compare the flights, or am I going to go to a couple airlines that I prefer and check their pricing? With these tools, the realtor is giving the customer a little bit more control. Like, hey, here's a tool that you can use. You can do some searching. And you know what? When you've got questions, click this button, and it's going to send me a message. It's super easy for the agents to set up, and it's super user friendly for consumers who want to find a house. And that, the RealScout app. And again, for us in the business, you are going to end up with two apps on your phone. You're going to have the RealScout client version, and you're going to have the RealScout agent version.
Okay.
Because
Right.
you want both of those, right? Like, you
Yes.
want to be able to see what's the client. Well, and maybe that shows you my personality, right? I want to see what they're seeing. I want to know what the customer facing site looks like. And so I have both apps on my phone. Maybe.
Yeah, and it puts your face on it. Your face is on the screen all the time throughout their search. I tell people all the time, you got to put your face on it. Real estate's one of those businesses where you put your name on it, you put your face on it. Yesterday in the Fast Start class, we were talking about marketing videos, and I showed an example of a video that I had made at a listing, and I started out with my tripod doing a video of me in front, and I was talking, so there was audio, but the video that I made cut out all the audio, which is fine. They didn't need to hear what I was saying. But it was enough for me just to be in front. They got it that I would, I'm a realtor. They get it. I'm in front of a house, and then my mouth was moving, blah blah blah, and there's a music in the background, and then I went like this. When I'm talking, I said, "Welcome to blah blah blah. It's here we are. Hey, why don't you come inside? Come with me." And when I went, "Come with me," and I turned around and I walked, and then it cut to the next clip. That's all I needed to get me in the video, right?
Yes.
Clients work with you, the person. They buy the house. But they need to remember you. You have to put yourself in everything, right?
Yes.
Remember Jared, he goes at HannaCon, he's like, my head's in everything. Stop doing these videos of these beautiful houses and you're not in it.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, you're going to sell the house, but what about you? Because you can't forget, you're also selling you right now, and you're selling yourself for that business 6 months, 6 years, 6 streets over, whatever. You're continually selling yourself. So put yourself in it, because I'm always for sale.
Yeah. And I'd like to also say, like, you're selling the experience of working with you, right? Like, so you want people to see, like, this is my commitment. This is my dedication. Like, I go out of my comfort zone. The first time you do anything, you're going out of your comfort zone, but that's how you grow, right? The first time we started doing this, it was more difficult than it is today, right? Because we were pushing ourselves to do something different. And the first time you do that video of a listing, it's for many of us, it's uncomfortable, but it gets easier and easier and easier. And then you're just like you're saying, like, your client base gets to see what it would be like, right? Like, how you are, I would imagine how you were in those first 10 seconds talking about that house is probably what you're like when you show a property to someone, right?
Sure.
And so you want your personality to come through, because it's like, okay, we're going to be spending some time together, right? Like, we're going to be going through a bunch of houses. We might stop and grab a coffee in the middle, and we're going to talk. And if we don't connect, we're not going to want to work together. But if we do connect, that means it's going to be easier. I'm going to feel comfortable with you. I'm going to be comfortable bringing up, hey, I have a challenge, whether it's in my financial, my qualifying. I've got a challenge in, my dog's a jerk. I need a fenced yard because, my dog will run away.
The agents in Fast Start yesterday, they all commented. They all said the same thing. They said, wow, they said, we really like that. Like, we feel like you're approachable. Just seeing you in that moment in front of the house and being like, hey, come on. it just welcomed us into working with you. They, you know, we're like listen, we're realtors, we're regular people, right? We own
Right.
houses. We might have, you know, or some of us rent, or some of whatever. We all live somewhere, and but we're all normal. And when you get that feedback from your realtor community when something is good, and
Right.
it's just an honest feedback, like, oh, there, and now they're, you know, they all want to do it. And so, and then their next question was that, well, they said, well, who's shooting that video? And I said, oh, it's my number one assistant. It's called Tripod. So my tripod assistant was out there holding the camera, and
Yeah.
you know, with using CapCut, the video editing is just so easy.
Yeah.
So I don't want to turn this. Well, actually, today is a how-to. I guess I don't want to turn this into a how-to, but today the whole theme is how-to.
Yes.
In this case, we started with, you know, with app. What's the app that we use to help our clients stay in touch with us, right? That's what we need. We need our clients to keep in touch with us, and yet also our clients need to keep in touch with the market as well as
Right.
we do.
Right.
So I like
Right.
what you said. You know, I like what you said, that the Hanna app. The nice thing with the Hanna app is of course, I think the branding, right? Because we're Hanna agents, and so we're going to build off that branding for that, maybe that casual buyer every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's important that we're presenting ourselves with that brand. Whereas maybe the buyer who we want to know in the moment, the 5 minutes that they interacted with something, because, you know, we need to get in there before the offers are due, or whatever.
Right.
Maybe the RealScout app is the way to go. I've been using it for a long time. I'm a big fan.
Yes. I like, again, it's the right tool at the right time, right?
Oh, wow. Well said, Lisa. Well said. You know who loves this content? You know who loves what we're talking about?
Who?
Gina Gelati. She loves it.
She's our number one fan.
She's our number one fan. Thank you for the hearts, Gina. We appreciate the comments and support. I got a message from somebody at 7:20 this morning saying, when are you guys going live this morning? How do I watch? And I said, well, I'm doing my best. It's a little bit tricky right now. We went live 6 minutes into our show this morning. I had to hit the go live button. It didn't go live automatically like it said it would. I had to hit the go live button. Facebook. But it is going. And again, we got the right outfits on. I can watch. I'm monitoring. I saw Gina's comment. Thank you, Gina. Anything else nice you want to say about Lisa or myself? Feel free. And anybody
She
else
likes
can
being our number one fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think we need to invite our number one fan on the show.
we should. I think we need to broadcast live from Lewiston during one of their many festivals.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
Yes.
Maybe we'll do, you know, we like to compete, right? Because we're agents. We're kind of competitive. The Rochester Jazz Fest is coming up soon. Maybe we need to do an on-site where Gina comes to Rochester, we go to that fest, and then we go to Lewiston for their Jazz Fest, and we see.
That would be pretty cool. I'm going to Lewiston for dinner on July 11th, so maybe I'll pop in and see Gina before dinner.
Lewiston is it's just a great area. It's so neat. I love Lewiston.
Yeah. I think it's beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we have to wind up because we've got week 2 of the certified buyer program coming up. And so we need to make sure everyone has time to close out of this, open up.
Last week was awesome. I got to tell you,
Yes.
it was a great presentation. And some of the parts from it, I repeated them in Fast Art yesterday. I said, because they were doing their presentations, and I said, you know, consultative versus presentation, they're two different things. And so I appreciate Joe for his work and offering that to everybody on our team. That was really fantastic. Absolutely.
It's awesome. It's a great jumpstart. If you're not energized and thrilled, like, you know, again, our mind reacts to what we put in front of it, right? You know, and we can get, you know, visual junk food, and we can get visual high content, good fiber education. And if you don't feel good after watching Joe and just reinvigorated to the value of our profession and what we do for people, I mean, it is definitely a shot in the arm that is much needed. So we greatly appreciate that. So hop on, make sure that you are signed up for our certification, because it is a great program and it will help. You can take his session at 10 and by noon, you're putting it into practice.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep. No, it was great. And there's a fun, there's the fun little game at the end. So we
Yes.
like to win, we like to compete. And so it's just fun. It's great. It's great training and it's fun at the same time. So that's awesome.
Cool. All right. See you there.
All right, everybody. Cheers, everybody.